Sure. Welcome to Good Morning Football, presented by Mercedes-Benz Vans. Happy New Year. My name's Kay Adams. We've got Kyle Brandt and Peter Schrager, and the lights dimmed a little bit for this one, I guess. Nate Burleson. I don't know what that was.
I thought that was just my headache. That's really something.
From New Year's?
Yeah, that's it. We hit it hard. A lot of sparkling cider, Adams.
A lot of sugar, those sugar headaches.
Oh, my gosh.
Hashtag GMP, so much to talk about. We'll get into Antonio Brown. We've got DeAndre Hopkins on the show. Maybe we'll ask him about Antonio Brown. Probably not. But here is the lead block. So we're less than a week away from the playoffs, baby. Wild card weekend is here. Here's the schedule in the NFC. Seahawks, Cowboys in Arlington. That is Saturday. Eagles and Bears. That'll be a great one in Chicago on Sunday. Saints and Rams get byes into the divisional round. Over in the AFC, the Colts and Texans play in Houston on Saturday. Chargers and Ravens, the rematch, part 2 in Baltimore on Sunday. Chiefs and Pats get to sleep into the divisional round. So time to talk about who's on the road to Atlanta, presented by Mercedes-Benz Vans. Which of the wild card matchups, gentlemen, is most intriguing?
I'm going to go with the Chargers taking on the Ravens. You know, we saw this game just 2 weeks ago, and it was one of the most lopsided games we've seen all NFL season. The Ravens outgained the Chargers 361 to 198 when it came to total yards. They played Ravens football in the Chargers building, and I think the immediate feeling is, okay, well, that was just a bad matchup for the Chargers, and now it's going to be even worse, because even though they won 12 games, they have to go on the road for a 5-hour flight. They've got to play at 10 a.m. local time, okay, on Sunday morning. And, oh, yeah, they've got to play in the elements. Whatever that may be, it's going to be not as good as it would have been in L.A. But I want to flip this around a little bit.
Okay.
Look at the Chargers team and their story as it's been all season long. Over the course of October and November, that team spent 41 days away from home. It included a week in Cleveland after a win over the Browns. It included a few days in London and a win over the Titans. And it included trips across the country, across the globe. They've also won in Pittsburgh. They've won in Kansas City. They've won in Cleveland. And they've won in Seattle. This Chargers team, it's only fitting that despite 12 wins, they've got to pack their bags, go on the road, set an alarm for a time that their body clock has no idea about, get up, and just get the job done. I think there's a lot of ways we can analyze this game, but for the Chargers, it wouldn't have been right if they had the 1 seed and just been able to cakewalk to the Super Bowl. That's not their 2018 story. The 2018 story for the LA Chargers is let's make things tough on us, let's go through adversity, and let's find a way to silence our doubters. I saw last night on Total Access, Cole Wright and Maurice Jones-Drew, they said, which team in the AFC is going to the Super Bowl? They both said the Ravens.
To Super Bowl.
To the Super Bowl, a 4 seed. I came on this show and said the Ravens are the most dangerous team in the wild card round. It seems like we're crowning Baltimore and neglecting a fact that there is a team that has a Hall of Fame quarterback, a 12-win team that did on the roster, and probably the AFC's best coach of the year in Anthony Lynn. I think the Chargers might have something up their sleeves, and I think the rest of us might be overlooking them just a little bit, and that this is the most fitting way their season should go. Road game, road game, road game, Super Bowl, and maybe they're the ones hoisting the Lombardi.
They have to get up early in this game, and I don't know how. They have to, every time they have the ball in their hands, they cannot make a mistake because the Ravens sit on the ball. They hold it. So I believe you, it'll be a great game in a rematch. How do they stop what Lamar Jackson is doing? How do you stop the run with them? Nobody's been able to do it.
They've got the
Chargers included.
They've got the one thing that might help the most. They're the only team to play Lamar Jackson twice. So they've seen it. They've been to the lab. They've been to the lab. They see all of the empirical data. They've done the chemistry experiments. They get to take the test twice. How often in life do you get to take a big test twice? Not too often.
Questions are a little different this time, though, aren't
Questions might be a little different, but you know what? It's nice to have an answer grid going in that you know how it looks. They have the film work, which is something that not a lot of teams have had the luxury of having.
Familiarity is why I think Colts-Texans is the best.
It's another great game.
Because this is a team that has not only faced each other once, but twice, and this is the rubber match between the two. Colts took one, Texans took the other. Both of these squads, in my opinion, Colts have a little more momentum right now. If they get in, either of these teams wins, I feel like they're going to go make waves. Texans would then be slated to go to Foxborough. I think Houston's got a little something for the Patriots. And don't tell me that Andrew Luck, the way he's playing with a run game that he can rely on to sort of keep Pat Mahomes on the bench for a little bit, and the defense with the Colts couldn't go into Arrowhead and flip the table. I don't think that playing on the road bothers Andrew Luck. I think he will rise to the occasion. I think he's an incredible quarterback. So with this one, I don't even care. Whoever wins might go and flip the table in the next round, which is what I'm looking for. And just the familiarity, how's that going to play into how these defenses attack Andrew Luck and Deshaun Watson, respectively? And Watson's running like crazy, and how do you stop that?
The Texans are one of the most intriguing teams in the whole field to me. I can't put my finger on it. I feel like it wouldn't shock me if they won the Super Bowl, and it wouldn't shock me if they won and done. I can't get a hold of them, which makes them fascinating to me.
All of these games are great, but they're the featherweight division when compared to the Seattle Seahawks and Cowboys.
You going up a class?
That is old school heavyweight boxing at its best. I mean, when you look at the changes of these teams, Seattle beat the Cowboys, but the Cowboys didn't have Amari Cooper. It's a huge change. It's the unexpected versus the unexpected. Nobody expected the Cowboys to kind of recover and get their balance back, get their rhythm back, get their swagger back. Jason Garrett, who's always on a hot seat. Offensive coordinator Scott Linehan, who's always on a hot seat. What is his defense? What is his offense? Ezekiel Elliott, once again, leads the league in rushing, facing a team who was unexpectedly now all of a sudden one of the best rushing teams in football. So now you have that heavyweight matchup between running backs. But if you have great running backs, you got to have great linebackers. And they have this. So we look at Ezekiel Elliott. Who is he going to face? Bobby Wagner, one of the best in the business, hands down. If you look at the Seattle running game, you got Carson, of course. You got Davis, of course. And Russell Wilson with his legs. Who are they facing? Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith, who could be the best duo of linebackers in the game. Sometimes you want to see just old school, drop the hands and slug it away. Body shot, headshot. Instead of, that featherweight, Floyd Mayweather, shoulder roll. That's cool. It's entertaining. It's great boxing. But I come from the 90s. Where Mike Tyson used to swing and knock cats out. And this is going to be that. You're going to see cats get knocked out, get up, dust themselves off, and battle for 4 quarters. This is going to be so good. And it's the Seahawks and the Cowboys, 2 franchises that we all love.
You got me so fired up now.
Me too, man.
It's true, because it's going to be 16-13. That game's not 51.
But it's going to be great football. Don't be fooled by the score. It's going to be great football.
Well, look, if you're talking boxing, then I'm looking at those Eagles. Ding, ding. If that's heavyweight, in the Olympics, they got super heavyweights. It goes all the way up. The Eagles are going to Soldier Field. It's incredible. And it's Foles versus the D. Foles versus the D. It's what we keep talking about. The defense is incredible. They're playing at home. In the magical run that was last year, Foles went through an incredible Falcons defense, an incredible Vikings defense. He's seen them before. He hasn't seen them on the road. He hasn't seen Khalil Mack, which is why it's fascinating. And that brings me to Foles. The Eagles have a shrine to Foles in their locker room. It's in Chris Long's locker, and they light candles, and they have pictures of him and everything. Last week, we were in the Christmas spirit. We were singing "Oh, Foley Night," and we decided to have a shrine of our own right here at Good Morning Football. We set up our own little shrine here. We have the same shrine because we believe in the Nick Foles of this world and the actual Nick Foles. Of course, we're going to put up number 52 on the Chicago Bears, who they need to come through and have a big, big game against Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. Nate, what would you like to add to the Nick Foles shrine here in Good Morning Football?
I'd like to add Ric Flair, because he is known as Nick Flair because he brings so much flair to the offense. Woo.
I'm just going to pull out this word right here, ravishing, for Mr. Rude. And we're going to put this, it's a nice contrast here between the mother of Jesus here and ravishing. Khalil, ravishing. We have the nature boy, Nick Flair, and this is all setting up for this weekend.
See you later.
Nate and I did that right in front of the Virgin Mary. It's appropriate.
And they won.
And they won, and they got the help from the Bears. And then our boy P. Schrags noticed there was a strange phenomenon here in New York last week where, according to a power plant, which is what the government says anytime there's anything weird in every movie ever, it's a power plant.
Power plant.
Peter noticed there was some strange coloration in the skies.
There was a transformer that went off, and you've seen it on Twitter. A giant light went across the sky. And usually I don't look too much into these things. I don't think about the paranormal.
I mean, come on.
Everyone said it was blue. Guys, that is as green comes. And if you don't take the messages from the sky and from the earth, then you are ignoring something very large. I was over my house last night. I don't want to explain how or why. Let's see my headline, because that's all I needed. It's the Philadelphia-Appalachia miracle.
Catchy.
You got a green sky? Get out of here. I don't question the earth, and I don't question the Lord. I mean,
don't question aliens. No.
Incredible.
That's it. It's green. Eagles, I don't care how. They're going to get in.
Green light. All right, so now, Peter, I am the curator of the shrine.
Yeah.
Would you like to add to it?
I think I have to.
Couple ground rules. Do you believe? Do you believe in the magic of Foles? If you don't believe it, we'll repel you.
Oh, I am so all in on Foles.
There are no phones allowed.
Okay.
And since it's the playoffs now, it's like the Yale Club. There's a jacket required policy. So come with, and please keep your voice low. This is a respectful thing.
Okay.
Come over here with me if you have an addition.
Am I joining?
Yeah, go for it.
Keep your voice low. Keep your voice low. Here you go, Peter. This is the jacket required policy. There you go. And Nate, this is you. No phones, please. No phones. Come on right in. Here you go, Nate. It's gonna be a little tight on you like you like it. Come on in, gentlemen. Come on in. Shh. I see you both cross the threshold, which means you do believe. First order of business as the curator, we have to remove the Khalil Mack because now it is actually an adversary of the shrine. So as you see here, we have the Nature Boy, Nick Flair, Ravishing Nick Rude, the Virgin Mary, and Nick Foles. Peter, what would you like to add to the Nick Foles shrine?
I'd like to say this is bigger than football, and it's bigger than what we see here on Earth. It's something that I would say is intergalactic. I would like to add the green sky hovering over our football world.
Oh, wow. Intergalactic, like the Beastie Boys.
Just like that. And Kyle, hello, nasty.
We have a sign from the heavens. We have Foles, we have wrestlers, we have candles. And gentlemen, would you like to join me in the VIP basement to talk about the Eagles-Bears game?
Yes, of course I would.
The button, and down we go.
Wow, they left. 3 years on the show. I don't know if they could do that. That's as quick as it was. We'll be back.